The year 2020 will forever be etched in our memories as a time of unprecedented challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic swept across the globe, leaving a trail of fear, uncertainty and loss. Amidst the global crisis, Australia faced a series of shocking crimes that shook the nation. From the haunting disappearance of a young boy to the horrific murder of a mother and her children, these crimes exposed the vulnerability in seemingly peaceful societies. They forced Australians to confront uncomfortable truths about violence and loss. In this essay, we delve into some of the most significant crimes that gripped Australia in 2020. The disappearance of 3-year-old William Tyrrell from his foster grandmother's home in Kendal, New South Wales on September 12, 2014, continued to haunt Australia in 2020. Despite extensive searches, numerous leads and a coronial inquest, William's whereabouts remain unknown. William was last seen wearing a Spider-Man suit, playing in the front yard of the property. The case, with its heartbreaking circumstances and lack of closure, has captivated the nation's attention for years. The image of William's innocent face has become a symbol of every parent's worst nightmare. In 2020, the case took a significant turn when police conducted a fresh search of the area surrounding the property where William disappeared. The search involved hundreds of officers, forensic experts, and specialized equipment. They scoured bushland, drained waterways, and sifted through tons of soil, but sadly, no trace of William was found. The renewed search efforts brought back the pain and anguish of William's disappearance to the forefront of the national consciousness. It also ignited a glimmer of hope, however faint, that the truth might finally be revealed. Australia was shaken to its core in February 2020 by the horrific murder of Hannah Clarke and her 3 young children, Aliyah, Liana, and Trey. The perpetrator of this heinous act was Hannah's estranged husband, Rowan Baxter, who doused the family car in gasoline and set it ablaze on a suburban street in Brisbane. Hannah had recently left Baxter after suffering years of domestic violence. Her courage in leaving the abusive relationship and her determination to protect her children made the crime even more unfathomable. The brutal murders sent shockwaves throughout the country, sparking widespread outrage and grief. Vigils were held in cities and towns across Australia, with mourners leaving flowers, toys, and messages of love and support. The case also ignited a national conversation about the prevalence of domestic violence and the urgent need for greater support for victims. Hannah Clarke's name has become synonymous with the fight against domestic violence, a tragic reminder of the devastating consequences of this pervasive issue. On a busy Friday afternoon in November 2020, the bustling heart of Melbourne was shattered by a senseless act of violence. Hassan Khalif Shire Ali, a 30-year-old man with known extremist links, drove a utility truck laden with gas cylinders down Brook Street, a popular pedestrian mall. As he drove, Shire Ali deliberately rammed into innocent bystanders, killing one person and injuring several others. The attack, which was later declared a terrorist act, sent shockwaves through the city and the nation. The Brook Street attack was a stark reminder of the threat of terrorism and the vulnerability of public spaces. It also highlighted the challenges faced by law enforcement and intelligence agencies in identifying and preventing such attacks. In the aftermath of the attack, there were calls for increased security measures in public areas. However, there was also a recognition that true security requires a multifaceted approach, including addressing the root causes of extremism. Section 5. The Aftermath and Response, Justice and Healing. The crimes of 2020 left an indelible mark on the Australian psyche. They exposed the dark underbelly of society, revealing the capacity for evil that exists within the human heart. Yet, amidst the horror and despair, there were also glimmers of hope and resilience. In the wake of these tragedies, communities came together to support the victims, their families, and each other. Candlelight vigils were held, memorials were erected, and funds were raised to provide practical assistance and emotional support. Law enforcement agencies worked tirelessly to investigate the crimes, gather evidence, and bring the perpetrators to justice. Courts handed down sentences that reflected the gravity of the offences, providing a measure of closure and accountability. However, the wheels of justice often turn slowly, and for some, the pain of loss and the search for answers continue. For the families of victims, life will never be the same. They must navigate a new reality, forever marked by the absence of their loved ones. Section 6. The psychological impact, trauma and fear. The impact extended far beyond the immediate victims and their families. The collective sense of safety was shaken. People became more wary of strangers and their surroundings. The psychological toll was significant. Many reported symptoms of trauma, such as anxiety and insomnia. Constant media coverage contributed to fear and unease. Mental health professionals saw a surge in demand. People sought help to process their feelings. The crimes highlighted the importance of mental health support. Section 7. Social and political ramifications. A call for change. The crimes of 2020 also had significant social and political ramifications. They sparked national conversations about a range of issues, including domestic violence, terrorism, mental health, and gun control. The horrific murder of Hannah Clarke and her children shone a spotlight on the prevalence of domestic violence in Australia. It led to calls for greater funding for support services, tougher penalties for perpetrators, and a greater focus on early intervention and prevention. The Bourke Street attack reignited the debate about terrorism and national security. It prompted calls for increased security measures in public places, as well as a greater focus on addressing the root causes of extremism. The crimes of 2020 also highlighted the importance of mental health and the need for greater support for those struggling with mental illness. There were calls for increased funding for mental health services, as well as a greater focus on early intervention and prevention. Section 8. Lessons learned, strengthening the social fabric. The crimes of 2020 were a stark reminder of the dark side of humanity. They exposed the vulnerabilities that exist within our society and the ever-present potential for violence and tragedy. However, amidst the darkness, there were also lessons to be learned and opportunities for growth. These crimes highlighted the importance of community, compassion, and resilience. They showed that even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, people can come together to support each other, offer comfort, and seek justice. They also underscored the need for ongoing dialogue and action on critical social issues such as domestic violence, terrorism, and mental health. By addressing these issues head-on, we can create a safer, more just, and more compassionate society for all. The crimes of 2020 were a wake-up call. They reminded us that evil exists in the world, but so too does good. They challenged us to confront our own vulnerabilities, to strengthen our communities, and to work together to create a better future for all Australians. Section 9. The ongoing quest for justice, unresolved cases, and lingering questions. While some of the crimes of 2020 resulted in convictions and a sense of closure, others remain unsolved, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a lingering sense of injustice. The disappearance of William Tyrrell, for example, continues to haunt the nation, with no clear answers about what happened to the young boy. For the families of victims in unsolved cases, the pain is compounded by the lack of closure. They live with the daily torment of not knowing what happened to their loved ones, haunted by the possibility that the truth may never be revealed. The ongoing quest for justice in these cases is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unwavering belief in the importance of truth and accountability. It is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, we must never give up hope that justice will prevail. Section 10. Conclusion. Remembering the victims, seeking a safer future. The crimes that shook Australia in 2020 left an indelible mark on the nation's psyche. They were a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of vigilance and compassion. Amidst the tragedy, there were stories of courage and resilience. We must remember the victims and work to create a safer society. Addressing the root causes of violence is essential for a brighter future.